VTuber pointing out misleading titles and clickbait titles about herself.
Hey, sorry for the serious video here, but I need to talk about some things that have been brought to my attention regarding some of the videos that I've been seeing pop up on YouTube nowadays. The clipping community, I think, is one of the most important parts of the streaming ecosystem, as many people don't have the time to watch through a whole stream and like to see general highlights and clips of their favorite streamers when they have the time.
Best example of this is Queso. Look at Queso. Queso popped the f off because of those clips. Those clips were insane. He's great, but the way that a lot of people discovered him was off-platform with clips. Clips are really important. Absolutely.
Different things that cause a streamer to get more attention, and in my case, getting clips from a few clippers back in the day really helped people find out about me. Yeah, I had my own stuff and my own personality that really helped boost me, but back then, I didn't push on YouTube, and those clippers ended up bringing a lot of really great viewers to my streams that I know are still around in my community today.
Usually my clippers, outside of like my editors, usually the clips that get posted of me, they have the opposite effect.
They say that the community reflects the streamer, and I would definitely say that's true.
Sometimes, yeah.
My mod team, my friends, and everyone I interact with, and just how I act in general is a really big part in shaping my community. It directly influences them and the way that they act and the way that they deal with other people. But it also goes the same way for the viewers. Oftentimes you learn about a streamer from a friend, a tweet, a TikTok, or in this case, a clip. They're really good clippers that help you learn about the streamer, and then they're the ones that are pretty disrespectful. I've never had a huge problem with clips because I've been fortunate enough to have really kind fans and respectful ones that run these accounts and listen to my boundaries and would delete clips or rename things if it was ever getting to a point that would make me feel uncomfortable in any way. But recently, there have been a numerous amount of these channels popping up that have been so incredibly gross to see that it's been putting off not only me, but my community and communities adjacent.
Let me guess, before we see them, it's sexual innuendo that is implied in the title with a suggestive thumbnail, and the clip isn't actually that. I bet that's what it is.
It's producing these extremely misleading clickbaity videos that oftentimes have nothing to do with the actual content being shown. Actually, I would like to say that pretty much every single video that we have seen has been extremely misleading or clickbaity and having nothing to do with the title or the thumbnail at hand. Let me show you what I mean. Here's just an example of one of the accounts that I've been seeing lately.
How could anyone have predicted this? Look at the picture. She's on a fucking leash.
Always making fun of because the titles were so stupid and misleading and just completely untrue. Then we saw this one, and then we saw this one, and then we saw this one.
I need a boyfriend. I want to I like hards. Dude, who's running this channel?
And as you can see, the content is very obviously uploaded with the intent to mislead viewers. I understand that a lot of people have a deep interest in a streamer's personal life for some reason, even though I'm pretty open about a lot, and despite that, people still want to know more about the sexual stuff or my...
Of course they do. I mean, you like, the thing is that this is, well, we gotta get down. Let's just come to Jesus here about this, all right? People design VTuber avatars to be attractive to men. That's what it is. And there's a reason why this character has huge tits, and why she's attractive, why she's wearing a collar. And yeah, of course, obviously, this might be the girl's aesthetic decision as well, but it sure seems like those aesthetic decisions sure seem to be more popular, right? And so you have a situation where you have people that you're selling, to a degree, a sexual experience in the way that you present this character. And I think this is unique to VTubing in one way, is that when you're a female and you're a real, I know you guys might not believe this, but they do exist. If you're a real life female, you don't really have as much control over your body appearance as you do if you create a VTuber. You could make yourself a demon. You could make yourself have huge tits or no tits, right? You could make your character look however you want. But the reason why people create characters that look this way is because they are the most appealing and they attract male viewers. And that is probably the majority of people that watch content like this is male viewers. I would assume it's probably over 90% male viewers. So what ends up happening is that when you create content that's made to attract men through a desire, you will have those people go too far. Now, it doesn't justify that behavior, and it's still bad to do, but you have to look at why this is happening. You can't go and say, I don't know why this is happening. It's obvious why this is happening. And I'm not one of these, blaming the girls for it, or, oh, you shouldn't wear that. I'm not this kind of a guy. I think girls should be able to wear and do whatever they want. But let's not be intellectually dishonest here. There's a reason why you create the character to look this way, and why you do this. Now, these people are over the line. They're creepy and weird. 100%.
See clips like this and look at these titles and be like, what the hell? And click on them. Because they're clickbaity titles, right? You can agree with that.
Yeah.
Just judging by this, you can already tell it's not like any normal clip you would see of a fan that actually likes me and my content.
I don't see that as being true. I think that there's plenty of people that like female streamers and they just like to go into them. It's that simple. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with that either, as long as the female streamer is okay with it. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I mean, like, I'll be honest, I think that's totally fine.
I want to fuck. I like hard sex. Drunk Numi on reason why she will be single forever. Drunk Numi is in need of a man. Drunk Numi's confession about hard sex. Numi is trying to buff so hard.
Oh,
and then you go ahead and you click on one of these videos.
You lean into this. Tara, I'm really right now. I hit 2 buzzballs.
Immediately, you can tell the subtitles are inaccurate in talking about balls, like a man's genitalia, and not the fact that I'm just drinking a buzzball and alcoholic beverage during one of my streams. I feel him. I said, bro, but the subtitles say, I feel him. You
know what's probably happening is that the person who's doing this is probably not a native English speaker, and they're just like, they are the strongest in India, maybe, or the strongest in Yugoslavia or China, and they really like this girl, and that's it. It's AI. Yeah, all this is done with AI, because I think this is probably what's actually happening. I think that people are creating these channels, and the entire thing is done with AI, and it's created entirely to make money. And I bet that tons of, like, every single streamer girl that I know has obsessed weird stalker accounts. But what's happening now is that the obsessed weird stalker accounts are getting eclipsed by these AI-generated accounts that create the clips, they create the videos, they create the subtitles, they do the editing, they add all of this in, and they don't even do anything about it.
So adorable when you're angry.
Oh my God.
Please yell some more.
Showing this whole part so you can see how dumb and misleading it can be.
I don't want to yell.
You know what?
You know what?
What?
I'm quaking and shaking right now at your anger. Maybe you do have a bit of a fight in you.
Okay.
So honestly, just by looking at this video for a couple seconds, you know that this does not at all match the title of the video, nor does it match the thumbnail.
No.
It's clickbait.
It is.
Numi is not single anymore, which obviously is not true. Numi goes viral. Her on Mountain Truth will shock you.
India's strongest. Maybe it's like some guy that lives in Italy. That's what it is. It has to be, right? You mean weakest?
I don't recall ever having sex on a mountain or sex at all, but go off, I guess.
Look at the name of the fucking account. Little girl. Uh-oh.
They're complaining about the fact that these videos do not match the title or the thumbnail. The content doesn't match because it's obviously misleading and it's pissing people off. Posting clickbait is how you get your kneecaps destroyed. These are the comments under the video called Numi is trying to buff so hard. And of course, that's not at all what I'm talking about in the video. And then you look at the comments, in which part of these whole 4-minute clips does Numi try to buff pup? This is such a clickbait. This is so clickbait. How are your subtitles so inaccurate? Maybe learn some English.
Look at this. Let's look at the suggestions. Numi finds out about Sender's new alerts. How Numi's first kiss led to one L after another. Iron Mouse about dating struggles. Numi will never find a boyfriend. Only a female could do this. And then, oh, here we go. Saruki will milk you dry. And then, in case that's not enough, and you've still got some left over, you've got Lola Bunny for roughly 4.5 minutes.
AI-generated crap. So this brings something else to the table.
She's right.
Here.
She's smart.
All of these videos have the same kind of format, a very, very misleading title,
Yeah.
A very, very misleading thumbnail with the top having the same exact layout of text.
Yep.
Something extremely erotic. Just something that you wouldn't or shouldn't
never
be
happened.
looking at on YouTube. I like hard. I want a screw. I want. I love balls.
This sounds like the next clip.
you guys are free to clip that if you want.
Yeah, there you go.
Because at least this is something that I'm actually saying. Something that me and my mods and my team have found out is that, yes, a common theme on videos like this, from this channel, this channel, this channel, this channel, and this channel. We realized when we looked at the More button, there's the About page. And you'll find that if you go to the About page, on every single one of these channels, even the one with no videos, they all share a similar AI-generated description about their profile and their page.
Bro, this is some random guy in some random European country, maybe some African country, and he is just farming. He is farming, bro. Like, yes, control, and yes, it's a guy.
Oh, this is likely all ran by the same exact person.
Yeah, of course.
And the same exact person is using AI-generated stuff to create this content. I mean, look at the profile picture and the banner. This is AI-generated. And then you look and then you see it's the same exact way that they're doing everything because they're probably aware of the fact that these new accounts that they're making are likely going to get demonetized or taken off. So they just make a new one.
Yeah, of course.
They're making a bunch to capitalize off of this as much as they can.
That's right. That's
and I know that it's bad enough that they're going after me, but they're also going after my friends like Lucy, like Lily, and completely misleading videos that have nothing to do with what's actually being talked about. Content aside, these kind of titles shouldn't even be on YouTube in the first place. How are these allowed? And then you go over and then you look and you sit here wondering to yourself, how is this kind of stuff allowed? Surely YouTube is going to be taking down this kind of content, right?
Yeah.
But then you go over and look at one of my friends' accounts and notice that their ASMR account has been taken down. They deny her appeal when all she's doing is ASMR.
The reason why is because it gets reported more often. Like, the truth is that the reason why these videos are up is because these channels are fucking irrelevant. Like 3,000 views. I was about to say up, dudes. 3,000 views. This is like nothing. So the reason why that girl's channel got deleted is because a lot of people reported it. So if a lot of people report something, it'll get removed. And that's why this person has a bunch of channels lined up, because they know what's going to happen.
You're going to see how upset people are by the clickbait titles. They're going to complain and dislike it, but then you're also going to see a few people assume that I'm the one posting them, or that it's an actual fan posting them. It's not only giving off the impression that I'm misleading viewers, but this content in general is just overtly sexual and just untrue. One could argue that because I make offhand dirty comments on my stream, it would make sense for these videos to come up, which I know is a common theme with some of my videos regarding the games I play or the jokes that I make about my favorite anime characters and my lackluster love life. But I digress. There's a difference between that and misleading viewers in such a harmful way with content that would lead viewers to believing something that isn't real.
I think that doing this is a form of creep shotting, basically, and this is a big, so there's a lot of people that have a problem understanding consent. I feel like about once a month we find out that there's a new streamer that doesn't understand what consent is. The big problem is that a lot of people don't understand the nuance that women want to be the one that controls when they are sexualized and when they're not sexualized. I don't think that women have a problem being sexy, but they do have a problem with people trying to make them look sexy when they're just trying to relax. And so they want to have control over that and not be, you know, sexualized without their consent, or I think in this case, against their consent. I would say not like really misleading, but it's exploitative. And I don't know why this is such a big problem that a lot of people don't understand, but man, a lot of people really don't get this, do they? I don't get it. Because to me, like growing up, like this, I'm not going to get up on a soapbox about this, but like growing up, I was taught never to touch somebody without their consent like that. Never do that. Like never be aggressive like that. Like always at like, of course, like I don't know why people do this. And that's a huge issue.
Even if people feel a certain way about me,
don't be weirdo.
And these videos become more popular, these accounts realize that they can profit off of these kinds of videos and just do the same exact thing, but with other streamers and other YouTubers and other VTubers. And this stuff is just gonna get worse and worse. Unfortunately, we put on the algorithm and deter viewers from looking at actual content of me or other streamers and build up this perception that this is how we are, when that's never really the case at all. It's also really interesting to know how these titles even slide in the first place.
The reason why they slide is because they use these different asterisks in order to avoid the YouTube auto mod. And that's why they have so many channels and they know what to censor and they know how they can slide under the radar. It's because of what do you call it? Trial and error. Do you think you're the first person that this has happened to? No, this creep has probably done this to 10 other girls before her.
But on my streams on Twitch, they're set to 18 and up because I'm aware of how bad my potty mouth is or how dirty my jokes can be. I'm so fortunate with my community that most of them can look at these videos and know that this isn't true because they actually watch my videos.
Here's what the problem is, and this is what happens with a lot of girl streamers, and it's also kind of an unintended secondary, like a second order outcome of or third order, I guess, if you think about it, outcome of OnlyFans is that because a lot of girls on Twitch have OnlyFans, it creates a community of people that ask girls to make OnlyFans. And really, you might think that this is an innocent thing to say, but what you're effectively asking somebody to do is to sell themselves. And if you had asked somebody to do this at like a work environment or something, this would make them very uncomfortable. And if you asked somebody to do this in real life, it would probably also make them uncomfortable. So what's happened is that you've had an increasingly more group of like content, and I think that it creates an expectation that people will create content like that. So when you have there's a lot of girl streamers that have this problem that they create content that maybe sometimes every once in a while it's a little cutesy, maybe a little baity, a little showy, but for the most part they just basically do their stream and that's it. But when you have clippers that are creating a community of around them, when that's not really what they're looking for, what ends up happening is that those people come into that girl's stream expecting her to talk about hard sex, expecting her to talk about wanting to fuck, and then they start talking to her that way, and it probably makes her very uncomfortable. So that's you can see how how this is a domino effect. I want you guys to kind of see how all these things fit together. It's not something that happens immediately. It's like it happens and this happens and something else happens, right?
And get the wrong impression of them. And it kind of sucks. It really sucks. I have an audience that's well aware of me and my personality so that it won't affect me as severely as it could affect other channels that likely depend on clips to be known out there. They don't have as much reach. And it sucks. It sucks that that's a thing. And it sucks that these channels are coming up. And I really just wanted to make this video to just showcase how silly these videos are and these channels are. These stupid AI-generated channels made by these people who can lie about being a fan to hide their true intent of wanting to profit and monetize off of these poor viewers who have no idea about their streamer that they're watching.
The average audience of the people that are watching that is probably 14.
Know that I have my own content. I have a bunch of channels that even if they don't get as many views or this or that, I know that it's reaching my audience and they're getting to know me and know that I'm silly, I make dirty jokes sometimes, I'm goofy, I'm a girl failure, but I'm also somebody who does other things. And I know that's the case with so many other people that are streaming. And people could say oh, you deserve this, you deserve that. But you would hate if people would make up all of this fake shit about you too. It's not a matter of...
It's very simple. She obviously sexualizes herself on her stream, but it makes her uncomfortable when people sexualize her against her consent on different YouTube channels, especially when they're doing it on a false premise that didn't even happen. It's actually such an easy thing to understand. And if people can't understand that, I don't know what to say.
It's a matter of what's real and what isn't. If you're gonna do a clickbaity gooner title, shouldn't it actually be a real thing? Jesus Christ!
No, because it get less views.
If you're gonna do something like that, do it like my Azure Lane video with the big feet in the background. I don't know, man. I don't know. But I just hope that making a video like this will help bring to light how fucked up these channels can be. And if you do see these channels, to try your best to report them and get rid of them. I'm hoping that by making a video like this, we can all kind of band together every kind of community of somebody that's been affected by this, that we can all come together and we can mass report these accounts You can bring up a menu and you can report the image or the title.
Yeah, sure.
You can report it for sexual content or spam or misleading content. And then hopefully, if enough of us band together with this, we can try our best to take down these accounts.
I don't know why you guys are saying, no, I don't want to do this, doubt, like stupid and everything. Like, isn't it a bad thing that people are just making slop channels that are spamming posts that are fake about people? Like, I mean, isn't this bad, like, on a fundamental level? I feel like this is such a there's such a circumstantial pushback for this, and I don't really see why it's happening. It's a tiny issue? I don't think so. I actually think that it's a very common issue, and I think it'll become worse every single year. Because right now, it's easier to do it with VTubers, but I think it also happens with other female streamers, and I think it will happen with more types of fan bases and more types of media as well, as generative AI gets better.
Make the VTubing clipping sphere just a little bit more bearable. And I'm really sorry that I had to make something like this, but I think complaining about it on streams isn't going to do any good, because those aren't the things that are going to get clipped anyway. And I guess the best way to go about it is to just talk to you like this and say, hey, that stuff is not me. Those videos are very misleading, and they're preying on you and your view to benefit them.
And so, chat, why are you confused? Well, I know this must be very upsetting for some people, but I'm really actually not that big of an incel. And you can talk to any girl that I've interacted with for my entire history of streaming, and you're not going to find a single one that said I've done anything other than just be a gentleman. I'm not manipulative. I'm not rude. I'm not obnoxious to people or anything like that. I don't treat people that way. I'm sure that, you know, there's been friction with, like, maybe an ex-girlfriend or something like that, arguments, sure, but otherwise, absolutely not. I don't operate that way. And I don't, to be honest, on a personal level, like, at least a lot of my close friends, man, I don't know about every single one, but like a lot of my, like, I don't know anybody that acts like that.
Incredible viewers of my community and my friends' communities who post just really good clips of me and my friends, or a bunch of other streamers that you know and love. They are out there. They're good. They're great. They are not AI. And they're doing so with the intent of helping the clipping ecosystem, helping you guys find the streamer that you like or the Oshi that you like without making you go, what? There's no way this is real, when most of the time it isn't. Thank you guys. Thanks for listening if you made it to the end of this, and let's do our best to make a beautiful community this 2025. Love you guys. Bye. I
think that there are going to be a lot of people who have, like, a negative perception of this video because they might not like the fact that this girl, you know, kind of, I mean, like, her character is designed to be sexually appealing to men. That's definitely true. But I think that you run into a double problem when you have people that take it too far and clip things and then turn it into being even more weird. So 2 other people that have been victims of this recently have been Senna and also Valkyrie. What's been happening with them is that people have taken comments or things that they've said on podcasts, with Valkyrie's example, and they've taken it out of context and then turned it into being like a extremely crazy sexual context, and then reposted it with logos of like Stake or like Roobet or one of these other like gambling websites. And they're basically, so what they're doing is they're like sexualizing this person in a way that they didn't necessarily intend, and also profiting off of it, farming it. Like, I think that's really, it's kind of cringe, right? It's kind of cringe. I've seen it with Kai. Yeah, exactly. People are doing it with everyone. And no way she said that. Like, yeah, she keeps what in her drawer after stream? Like, I can think of a million fucking titles for this. And sexualizing yourself versus someone else sexualizing you, it's pretty simple. You know what? I thought so until I went online, and apparently fucking not. So I want to say that obviously Numi has to understand that people, like, if you have a character like this, there are a lot of people that are watching your thing, and they're looking for a GFE. That's a girlfriend experience for anybody who actually has, you know, who's had a girlfriend before in real life. If you haven't, you already know what a GFE is, like I do. And so anyway, that happens, and yeah, big fucking surprise. This is how things go. Am I crazy for thinking it's less egregious as an animated character? So here's where the problem is, and here's where it comes from. And it's the same issue that Senna and Valkyrie and like there's a bunch of other people that obviously have had this happen too. The issue that they have is that when you have a ecosystem of people that are creating content that utilize you against your consent and in ways that are unintentional, when you build a community like that, or like, you know, people that take photos of like a girl leaning over, it's like, remember back in the day, like any gaming female streamer, if you look at her top clips, none of them were gaming. Every single one was her walking away from the camera. I mean, I can't be the only one that forgot about this. Yeah, I mean, what are we doing? That's overreaching. It is. It's overreaching. It's crazy. And so that's what's really going on. So when these girls have a person like this that comes onto their platform that comes from these clips and is expecting this girl to be a hoe or talk about those all the time or talk about all the time, and they start asking for that because that's what the clips have been posting and that's what they think that they're going to get, then you have a problem. And I think that's what's clearly happening. And I understand, again, that a lot of people, you know, are not very sympathetic to this for numerous different reasons. A lot of people think that in a lot of cases, and I do have, I'll be honest, guys, I'll say it, I have a number of incel viewpoints. I do. But I don't only have incel viewpoints. I think there are some things that people are right about, some things they're not. And I think that this is one of those things where a little bit of compassion and a little bit of, you know, putting yourself in the shoes of another person and thinking about, again, those second and third order effects from this type of behavior, I think it will really help you understand why this is an issue. So yeah, that's the way that I feel about this. Obviously, a lot of people are going to be, you know, I think kind of negative towards her, but I completely support her and I can totally see her point of view. And I think that it's a huge issue. And I think that honestly, this is the tip of the iceberg. That's it. Now, I know a lot of you guys, some people are going to be unhappy about it, but that's how I feel, honestly. I'll be right back.